as it was, and as great as this year was, and the overcoming so much of what we've overcome our whole lives at Weber State, the Wattis curse rears its ugly head again. Weber State has played exactly like this all season. Get down early, make a comeback in the second quarter, which they did. They were down 70-0. They make a beautiful drive, make it 76. They got all the momentum going. James Madison gets a big kickoff. Weber pushes it back, just like it was 2 years ago. A kick, a long kick at the end of the half. Remember Weber State blocked and ran it back 2 years ago. The Wattis curse rears its ugly head again.
Well, this time they didn't block the kick with that phantom call, but they had the field goal, kick it, possibly missed it. It looked to me like it was missed, but I'm not really sure because I never saw the referee signal. It may have been a good kick. It may have been a missed kick.
Timeout.
But Jay called timeout just before the kick, and so they had to do the play over again, and then they throw that Hail Mary
So
pass.
what happened? So they call the time. They don't kick.
They
decide to throw a Hail Mary. And they beat Maxwell Anderson, who we know, Maxwell, who's great, who's 18 years old, and he's played so big, but
he made a big mistake on that play, but you're 18 years old, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
so,
and it's just not him, the whole defense.
But it wasn't just him. I mean, there was two
It's
other
the
guys.
Wattis curse. I'm telling you, it's the fucking Wattis curse. So, again, right here. You know, I was at that game in Seattle. All I got to do is make a free throw to go to the Sweet 16. How about 95? Nemhart, just make the front end. They lose on a Hail Mary. Another, it's an air ball. It's a fucking air ball. I mean, how long are we dealing with this our whole lives? And so, but James Madison was good. No turnovers by either team. And I want to say this because this is important. We know a lot of the players, Kevin and I. We've gotten to be very good friends. You didn't say shut us down, but we know lots of these players personally. I'm on the university every day.
Well, the NCAA shut us down because we take the side of the players.
We're about the student athlete. Fuck the NCAA. And so,
the National Collegiate Association of Assholes.
And we dedicated it. So after the game against Montana, the biggest win in Weber State history at home. So we're on the field after the game, and McPherson, who just caught the touchdown pass, who had a fantastic game, player of the game tonight.
He did play well.
What did he tell? He walked right up to me.
I'm not going to drop. I promise, I'm not.
He walked right at me and he says, "Kevin, I promise I won't drop a cast."
So he did. He dropped one, but he had some big catches. Though.
Oh, huge catches! He was the player of the game. But it was that play. It was the Hail Mary. I mean, Weber style game.
I mean, you take that Hail Mary out of there. First of all, you don't know what the second half would have done because Weber had momentum.
They had all the momentum.
After that, James Madison got
just
the
like
momentum
they did
back.
at Kansas State, just like they did in Montana, just like they have all year. They have all the momentum. They're down. Here they come. They get the late touchdown, get the stop. They got all the momentum going their way. It was Weber style again. But again, the Wattis curse, just like it reminds me. I was sitting right over there at the other bar, at the Frog. We're here, right here in the old Browning place where you used to get his cars. Which I restored these walls in this building in 1978. Here we sit right here all these years later. In 95, that game, I was sitting up at the Frog, which is the Monarch now, that night and that day. That was a Sunday. So Ruben Nemhart knocks Allen Iverson's guy, I think 3 points. They're ahead that whole game. They got that game won. They might. I mean, this team's good enough to win the national championship. They're that good. He misses the front end of the one. They're still ahead. Iverson throws an air ball.
I'm not sure if
and they get a putback. I mean, it's a flukiest fluke of all flukes. Same in '99 when I'm right here. I mean, the Wattis curse will not go away. I mean, we had a voodoo woman named Phyllis.
Well, the thing is, you look at that. People in Florida. The Florida that year that
Miller, Haslam.
Weber played Florida better than any other team before Florida made the Final Four that year.
Weber had a beat. Come on. I'll tell you a great story. You want to talk great story basketball? You know who's I'm sitting at that game. I'm up there in Seattle. And the game after, by the way, was Mad Dog Madison, but put Gonzaga on the map. They're number one in the country with Montgomery. And Gonzaga upset him. That building in Seattle. I'll tell you, I'm with Dave Sacklowitz himself. talk about the Wattis curse, missed free throws in the sixth.
In Santa Clara when Santa
I'm
Clara was
sitting
number
with
3.
you. So Noel Jackson has 3 free throws to win the game to go to the Sweet 16. Makes 2. Third one. Not only did he get up and walk, got up and walked out of the building, he went for a walk down the road in Seattle. Now I was with Harold Arsenal after the game, and we talked about this. I was with Paul Thompson that morning. When Paul Thompson, it was a cut deal, they're going to fire a Bakeland. And I went to breakfast with him that morning. I said, this is the biggest mistake in Weber State history. You fire him. They give Guy Beach a job instead of Hunsaker the job. Cravens.
Cravens instead
They
of
just
Beach or
signed
Hunsaker.
Joe Baum, they just signed Jeremy Boyette. I said, it's over. This is the biggest mistake. Dr. Cooley had just passed away. The number 1 school business in the country. I'm teaching 2000. I thought this year maybe it was over and it ended, but it reared its ugly fucking head again. It's sad, and I want to say this to my friend Jay Hill. What you've done, I'm telling you, is so impressive. To Connor Mortensen, to Jay Constantine, to Trey Treadle. I know all these kids personally. Adam Rodriguez. How about
Ty McPherson tonight, even though he lost the game, he played a hell of a game.
Josh Davis. All of them. I'm so proud of all you guys.
Oh yeah. Hey, the thing is you know what? James Madison comes to Ogden next year, and Weaver, I think, assuming Jay Hill stays, which I think he will be better next year than they were this year.
Lots of returning young people. But I want to say this, because I've been fighting AML leukemia. It's been a historic season, and I go against the NCAA. Fuck the NCAA. What they did, I dedicated the season to Trevin Smith, died in jail cell, the all-time leading rusher. NCAA didn't do anything for him. Weber State didn't do anything. They didn't do anything for... Weber State did nothing for our great basketball player who's playing in the NBA Superstar, but he sure gives back here. But what's that kid's name?
Damian.
What's that kid's name? A kid named Willard?
Damian Willard. I mean, look at what Damian Willard...
Me and Damian are friends. We're great friends. And they're great team. How about that curse? You think that's a curse? Up by 22 points at halftime with Damian Lillard on the floor. In the D.
Anthony Johnson goes off.
And they lose.
Although I think, but the thing is, though, is a big part of that. I mean, the Hail Mary, Weaver's defense, which had played really, really well the entire game.
No turnovers in this game by either team.
But the defense kind of made some really big mistakes in that Hail Mary pass.
Well, one big mistake.
Weaver against Montana in that one game, people forget that Franklin Sessions
did not make a free throw.
And he was like 0 for 10, 0 for 11.
I got to tell you the story.
And the thing is, Wayne Tinkle, who is Montana's coach, if they would have taken Sessions out of the game after missing 2 or 3 free throws, Weaver would have won that game. Montana still would have outscored us. Anthony Johnson would have had his fantastic game, but that
Anthony Johnson did not miss a free throw or a field goal in that game.
But
how many points did he score?
Montana's comeback would have fallen short because Weaver would have been able to hang on to the ball long enough.
This is important. I was full of AML leukemia, dying. I got to come home. That game, I got a sickle line hanging out of my jugular vein. I'm in the bone marrow transplant. Damian Lillard, Randy Ray, both hugged me after that game. They'd won a bracket buster game against Arlington that day. They'd won 30 games. They were that good. They were that good. You don't think this one's good? So I'm full of cancer. I'm dying. And I'm at that game. I'll never forget that game. That game, I felt like I'd been gut shot. I couldn't believe it. I remember telling myself, my friends, Todd James was sitting with me, you coach with, you refereed with, managered with. I'm like, this is the biggest heartbreak. They'll never overcome this. They'll never overcome this. And James Madison was fantastic tonight, by the way.
The James Madison, they played really, really well.
Take nothing about it.
Interesting. Weaver's going to meet him again next year in Ogden.
It'll be great.
In Ogden.
It'll be fun. So I want to say this to Jay Hill. win, lose, or draw. I said this to you the other night. I went to breakfast, or other morning. I went to breakfast with you in Union. What you've done here is special. It's amazing. The turnaround here is amazing. It's been incredible. From the most corrupt, losingest program in the United States to this Big Sky Championship 3 years in a row. Get here again. But look what we're up against. We're up against the Wattis Curse. I mean, here, Blood Ogden. We've been dealing with it our whole lives, right? From Sackowitz missing free throws against Tarkanian. You know, Sackowitz, I got to tell you a story. You know, Sackowitz told me recently, because I'm friends with him. Well, you know, Cap, I missed those free throws. You know, he was sitting in Poly Pavilion on the front row. That's true. That's what he said. I said, that's a new one. I said, I like it, you fucker. You know, so.
She could distract you.
Yeah, but he's full of shit. But anyway, so we're here in the old Browning building with our cards, which I restored in 1978 here on Grand Avenue, the old Ogden Mall. Remember when they filmed the video right there? Children behave. That's what they say about it. It's been downhill since they fired a Bagelin. I think it's been downhill since they lost that game in 1980 to Lamar when they were up by 20 points. Jamar got up on them 20, but when they were a 6 seed.
Actually, it was because
they were a 6 seed at home in the tournament. Arnie Farron?
5 seed.
5 seed.
Anyway, that game the next year, McCarthy had a whole bunch of top line recruits lined up. And he told me, I was talking to him one day when I was managing. He said, he talked about it when I was coaching. He said, we had that Lamar. He said, I had.
You know Coach Lamar?
Billy Tufts. But anyway, that was.
Before anybody knew who Billy Tufts was.
But anyway, so McCarthy said it had all these major recruits lined up. All of them reneged on him.
Yeah.
And he ended up with a bunch of scrag guys.
What a coach he was, Bill.
Now that year, the following year, over half the team quit on Neil McCarthy. He
because of that loss.
Finished the season with JV players. Because remember they used to have a
by the way,
and they finishing with walk-ons and JV players. They finished, I think it was 5th or 6th in the conference the following year.
I remember.
Losing season, up to that time, the only losing season that Weber State had ever
Dick
had.
Mata, who coaches
the next
Gene
year,
Fisher.
They get an early commitment
Bill
from Tom
Johnson.
Haywood. They get an early commitment from Tom Haywood and turn the program around. They came in, they finished respectable in the conference. Then the next year, in 1982-83, they tied a two-way tie for first place in the conference with Nevada Reno. But the game was in Reno because
and they won, but they still lost in the tournament.
They lost in the
Washington
tournament.
State. That's my point. My point. They're always good, but they always find a fucking way to lose. That's Blood Ogden. There's a curse on this place. Do not kid yourself. We overcome a lot of steps this year. The big win. We got this far, but still. I mean, how old are you? How old am I? We've been watching this since we were born. There's 27,000 students
I
at
used
Weber
to watch.
State.
I used to go when I was a kid. I used to go up to watch games in the old Swinson.
With a guy named who?
Bill
Justice
Johnson.
Thigpen?
Justice Thigpen, Brady Small, who I'm personally.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Willie Sojourner.
Oh, Sojourner.
NBA title. By the way, that's who named Dr. J. Dr. J.
With Willie Sojourner. By the way, Willie
He's got an ABA championship ring. I mean, yeah, that's
No,
what
Willie was good. I refereed some rec league games when he was playing. Nicest guy. Nicest guy
he
you
was
can
killed
imagine.
in a car wreck in Italy.
In Italy. He
was
went
a
to
god
Italy,
in Italy.
was
Because I spent a lot of time.
He was coaching in Italy.
Well, not only that, when he played there for a long time.
He played there for a long time, and then he went back. They brought him back to coach there, and then tragically was killed in the auto accident. And
by the way, you know who I say the best player in Weber State sports history? All of sports history.
well, I mean,
There's a bunch of them on this team, probably right there. Josh Davis, Trey, all these great players here.
probably Trevin.
I'll say Ruben Nemhart. 95, but he missed the front end of the free throw.
Ruben Nemhard was
Who's the greatest coach? Dick Motta. By the way, again, we were talking about this. Who coined that term? The fat lady sings.
Dick Motta. He coined it when he was, by the way, he used that quote many times in the NBA, but you know where he coined it?
Here, in Ogden,
Weaver State.
In Ogden.
He coined it at Weaver State.
So again, heartbreaking, but the Wattis curse, these nuclear fuckheads. Great season, Jay. Great season to you young players. Josh Davis, Devon Cooley. How about Connor Mortensen?
Connor Mortensen.
Springville, Utah. Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez.
Maxwell Anderson, even though that big play, the young guy.
And, well, he didn't do too much today, but Jacoby Harris, another
The
freshman.
big kid. Brock, Jake Constantine, but McPherson, and what hurt too, remember, we missed the Rocket the whole end of the season.
Missed the Rocket this season, and also another thing is, I think one of the differences of this year's team versus next year's team, I think the defense of next year's team is going to be just as good as it was this year.
It was great.
If not even better. But I think the offense will be a little bit better.
But we still got to deal with the Wattis. Here we are in Grand Avenue in the Browning old place, which I restored, which should be a bunch of DeLorean was here. I got drunk when I was 17 years old with Christine Ferrari and John DeLorean sitting right there with a bunch of cars in this building. This is the old Browning building right here, which I worked for George Pops. I restored this building when I was 17, 18 years old. I remember Christina Ferrari right there when I was 17, right there, sitting right there in this building, 17, 18 years old. And you remember what females were in this town? Remember this town? Whoa, in Bloodman Town. The Wattis curse. The road is ugly head again. You're a native, right?
I've been Ogden all my life.
Born in the D hospital?
The OD.
Me too.
The OD hospital. Although I did leave for a while. I mean, I went to California for about 5 years, and then to Oregon for a year.
I've been all over the world.
Then to Korea for 10.
So we still come back to this
Came
place.
back to Ogden for about 7 years. And then I
Ogden.
went back to Saudi Arabia and then China, and I went back at least for a year.
See at the basketball game. Maybe we still got things to look forward. We still got.
Well, I'm not sure. I thought I was going to get a job in Japan.
But we still got things to look forward to. Jared Carty.
Oh, yeah.